Hello, grade 8 students. For quarter 2, week 4A in Mathematics 8, you will be learning with domain and range of a function. I am Mrs. Reina S. Corpus, your lecturer for this week. You have learned last week that a function is a special relation in which every element in the domain is mapped exactly to one element in the range, and no two ordered pairs have equal abscissas. Function notation can be defined as a function with the symbol f(x) or read as f of x, or a function of x. It denotes the value for y. Domain is the set of all first coordinates in an ordered pair or x, while the range is the set of all second coordinates or y. For activity 1, you are going to determine the domain and range of the following ordered pairs. So can you still recall how do we do it? For the first example, the domain here are 0, 2, and 4, while the range are 1, 3, and 5. For example number 2, the domain here are -1, 0, and 1, while the range are 0, 1, and 2. It is that easy, very easy to find the domain and range using the ordered pairs. For the second activity, in a rule or equation, we can determine the range by simply substituting any value of x to find y. Example, f of x is equal to x squared minus 5. If we assign 3 as a function as the value for x, 3 times 3 is 9. Minus 5 is equal to 4. If we assign 0 as the value for x, 0 times 0 is 0. Minus 5 is equal to -5. Therefore, our domain here is any element of real number, or x such that x is an element of real number. For the range, y such that y is an element of any real numbers also. We can use any values for x to find the value for y. For the second example, f of x is equal to x plus 5 divided by x minus 2. This is written as rational expression. Our domain here could be any set of real number except 2. Why except 2? Because if you substitute 2 here, the denominator will become 0. So 2 plus 5 is 7 divided by 0, it will become undefined. So never use a value for x that will make it 0. The range is any set of real numbers. So remember, if your f of x is written in a rational expression, never use a value for x that will make the denominator 0. For number 3, f of x is equal to the square root of x minus 2. In here, our domain should be x such that x is greater than or equal to 2. Why? Because if we substitute 2 here, 2 minus 2 is 0, and the square root of 2 of 0 is 0. If you will use a number which is less than 2, say for example 1 minus 2 is -1. There is no such number that is square root of -1. Okay? While the range is y such that y is greater than or equal to 0. So remember, if it is in a square root, the radical should be equal to 0 or greater than 0. Did you understand? For the activity 3, determine the domain and range using the graphs. For example, in the first graph, our domain here is any set of real number, y, because our x here passes through the negative, the 0, and the positive. On the second example, the domain also is an element of real number because our x is passes through negative, 0, and positive. For the range, looking at the graph in number 1, our graph intersects at 0 and it is pointed downwards. Therefore, y is less than or equal to 0. The values of y here are all negative. On the second graph, y such that y is an element of real number. Again, it passes through all the all the quadrants or negative, 0, and positive. For the third example, our graph intersects at 1, 0. So, x such that x is greater than or equal to 1. Why greater than? Because our graph is pointed upwards, while y is greater than or equal to 0. Okay? So that ends our presentation or lesson for this week. This virtual instruction is not possible without the assistance of the whole mathematics team for grade 8. Enjoy learning math and have a nice day.